guy that helps everybody in the town, and he really wishes that he could be like friends with this guy and like be kind of like part of his family or whatever. But he doesn't really have anybody. But exactly like you said, like James Marsden's really great in this movie, and I kind of, like you say, I kind of feel bad for him a little bit, because not only has he's not maybe looked at, he's not given as many huge roles as he maybe deserves. He in this movie, he's kind of maybe overshadowed a little bit by his two co-stars, like his Sonic and Jim Carrey. Just by how like animated they are, and how he's playing kind of the straight man.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the second time that James Marsden starred in a movie alongside a furry animated character. The other one being Hop, the Russell Brand Easter Bunny movie.
Yeah.
And he's really good at that. Like, he's really good at the kind of miming actions and interacting with things, something which isn't actually there until post-production. Like, he has this like natural back and forth with the character. It reminds me of how great Bob Hoskins did in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Unfortunately, his character, I guess, maybe doesn't stand out as much, and so it might be a little bit underappreciated by some people watching this movie, because I think, like, if they'd made a Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2, everybody, like back in the day, everybody would be like, hey, where's Bob Hoskins? You need to have him in the movie. This one, I think maybe because Sonic is such an outlandish character, and Dr. Robotnik is such an outlandish character, I think if they made a sequel to this, maybe people might not be that like normal cinema-going audiences might not be that fussed if James Marsden wasn't in it, as long as those two characters were.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing, like, there's this Peter Rabbit movie coming out with Domhnall Gleeson and Rose Byrne returning, and that was the same deal with that movie, where those two actors were so great in the original film that you really would have missed them, I think, more. Just here, as great as the bond is between Sonic and Tom in this movie, I just think that I don't know. I just think that it's just a pity that maybe people might just overlook James Marsden a little bit, which is a pity, because he has done such a great job in this, and again, he's done the same. He has done this kind of thing before, and he's really good at it.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing too, I really like with this movie is they give it its little its little funny moments that doesn't always rely on the main cast either. Like, I love the character in this that is the only character to have ever seen Sonic, and everyone just assumes that he's a nut job. So, like, he pops up with his picture and he's like, oh, this is what I saw, and everyone just laughs at him. I love that. Like, I'm a big fan of those characters, especially in comedy films that just pop up occasionally. Like, one of my favorite comedies of all time is Not Another Teen Movie, and one of my favorite characters in that is the guy that pops up trying to do the slow clap all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I love those characters, so I really love that they did that in this film as well, because I don't know, like, I think that's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed this film, was because it felt like the writers and the director, Jeff Fowler, was really, really prepared to, like, kind of do things out of the ordinary and not just make another stereotypical kind of kids movie based on a video game. In fact, a lot of people are saying that Sonic deserves to be mentioned up there alongside films like Resident Evil as one of the best ever game to film adaptions. And I think I kind of have to agree, because, yeah, as someone pointed out to me, there's little small things in this movie, like the fact that Sonic is chasing coins that just matches with the game. Like, I think we talked in the episode when we talked about Jumanji, and we said that one of the things we both liked about the film was that it plays out like a game, as the characters are on the screen, like with the levels and stuff. And Sonic kind of does the same thing, where it's like jumping from one dimension to another, and yeah, just things like that. And it kind of comes as a bit of a surprise for me, because Jeff Fowler as a director, he hasn't actually done all that much. Like, back nearly 20 years ago, he directed a short film called Go for Broke. And then I think like in the 2000s, he kind of like wrote another short film. But even like when it comes to things like visual effects, he worked on one movie, Where the Wild Things Are, which is like quite a while ago. So he's kind of an odd choice to be placed in charge of like arguably what is going to be one of the biggest movies of the year. But he's done such a sensational job, and I kind of wonder whether in a way that's helped, that this movie had zero expectations, especially after that first trailer came out, and that those expectations went even lower than zero. So I think that has kind of helped this movie, because a lot of people have gone in and watched the movie and come out of it going, oh man, that was like 10 times better than what I thought it was going to be. So I think those little things have kind of really helped this film. Like a director with not much experience, a character that looked bad in the first trailer, two actors who were big like a decade ago but not big anymore. I think all those things have kind of actually worked in the favor of this movie, because people have come out of it thinking it's a lot better than what it deserves or should be.
Yeah, definitely. Like that was, I mean, something that I was guilty of myself. Like going into it, I personally, I didn't even see the initial trailer that everybody was unhappy with the design of Sonic. I saw enough pictures of the original design, but I never even saw that trailer myself, because I just wasn't that interested in it. Because I just thought, it's just going to be a crappy video game movie, just a Sonic movie, just make a few bucks. But as you said, it really is surprisingly good. And I think, at least from a financial sense, I think it is actually, I think it's the most successful video game movie already, like, ever.
Yeah.
I think it's, just how popular it's been. And, I mean, it's gone up, it's had some stiff competition at the box office, but it's still ended up on top recently. And as you say, it's so much. It's a movie that is so much better than it has any right to be, almost. Yeah. And I think that is something that a lot of people were very grateful for, that they had went back and changed the design of Sonic just when people weren't happy with it with the initial trailers. Because, I mean, we've seen a lot of other movies recently where the initial trailer comes out and people aren't happy with the way the movie's looking, and they're pretty much told, no, you're tough, this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
It happened with Birds of Prey, it's happened with the Terminator movies, it happened with there's a lot of, I mean, the Ghostbusters, for sure, Ghostbusters 2016, that was a definite one. And, this is a case where really they had no, there was no real reason that they had to do it. There was there was a bit of an uproar about the design of Sonic, and for them to actually go back and change them to give the audience something that they want, I think and not only that, but of course for the film to be so entertaining, so funny, and I think they really do deserve the success that this movie has had. So I'm really interested to see what they do with this, because I mean, I wasn't expecting to have as much fun with this kind of cheesy kids film as I actually did.
Yeah. So I guess that leads to the big question: what are you going to give this one out of 5?
I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5. As I said, I really did enjoy the movie. The CGI, some of it might not have looked that good, but again, that probably came because of the redesign and not having enough time to focus on it intently. But everything else really makes up for it. Jim Carrey, I loved Jim Carrey in this movie. There's so many scenes in it where I was just laughing my ass off. And exactly like you said, dude, there's so many other scenes with side characters that are hilarious as well. So yeah, just I had a real 4 out of 5 for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one 3.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it as well. I loved how simple it was. I loved how it incorporated the Sonic game, but in a creative kind of way. I thought the reason why I'm going 3.5 and not higher is because I thought that perhaps they could have been even more creative and with like some of the other movies that I've loved over the years that have been aimed for kids. I've loved the fact that they've taken that extra step to be even more creative. But look, I enjoyed this one enough to be able to give it 3.5. I didn't find myself bored ever once in the cinema, which I do sometimes with kids' films. So yeah, I'm going to give this one 3.5 out of 5 because I did enjoy it. And that's it for this episode of the Popcorn Conspiracy. Kyle gave Sonic 4, I gave it 3.5. Go out, check it out, see what you think of the film as well. But for now, I've been Dave G.
And I've been Kyle.
And we'll be back very, very soon with another episode of the Popcorn Conspiracy.